This is the BBC.
Hello, welcome to Comedy of the Week. Thank you so much for downloading, subscribing and listening to Comedy of the Week. As I'm sure you're all aware, it's September. You're probably all feeling a little worse for wear after your happy new September parties. Yeah, I know I went a bit mad this year too, a little too much blackberry wine. Before I knew it, everyone was throwing acorns in the air and looking for a squirrel to kiss. As the clock struck 12 and September announced its crisp arrival, I was lucky enough to find a very handsome squirrel to kiss under the chestnut tree. So, Paul, if you're listening, I know you're a squirrel, mate. I know it's crazy, but I think it can work. You've got my details. Just be brave. It doesn't matter what your family think. You know, I'm wearing a tail now. Sorry, it's been an emotional week. You know what it's like at those happy new September parties. Everything gets a little out of hand. Pretty similar to the Edinburgh Fringe, guys, which has just finished. So, if you do see a tired and bedraggled comedian on the streets tonight, clinging on to a battered copy of 3 Weeks and mumbling, please do spare them a laugh as you walk past. That laugh might just be enough to get them to a gig that night. So please, be generous with your giggles. But this week's Comedy of the Week is remembering the glory days before Edinburgh finished. For us, Fringe is not over in our minds or headphones, because today we have for you, Fresh from the Fringe. These are some of the best and most hilariousest new faces to come out of this year's Fringe, including Darren Harriott, Rose Matafeo, Jon Pointing as Cayden Hunter and Desiree Burch, all masterfully held together by the brilliant Kiri Pritchard-McLean. So please, get honey and lemon on the go, start deleting those drunk texts you've been sending for a month, and try and imagine the cool breeze of Arthur's Seat through your hair, as we enjoy Fresh from the Fringe 2017.
We're here at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, where over 2 million tickets will be sold to more than 72,000 performances taking place across 25 days. If you laid all the flyers given out at the festival end to end, it would go around the world twice. That's completely made up, but so are all the quotes on my poster this year, and no one's who's bothered about that. We've walked every inch of these streets to bring you the funniest performers that we could find, who were available and not currently blind drunk. I'm Kiri Pritchard-McLean, and this is Fresh from the Fringe. Are you having a wonderful Edinburgh Fringe, everybody? Yeah. Of course you are, of course you are. Do you know what, this is my first, I've been going out for about 6-7 years now. This is my first Fringe that I've done where I'm single. I know, I've picked quite the tent for it, haven't I? If I want a sugar daddy, eh, sir? Nice to meet you. I'm single for the first time in 8 years, and in fact, this Fringe, I didn't want to talk about being single on stage, because it's still quite raw for me. I feel quite vulnerable when I do, but I'm forcing myself to talk about it, because I think other people have been through what we went through. Basically, I had, gosh, it was a really sad day. We were in bed together, and I looked over at him, and I sort of had this realisation after 8 years together that I could pay the mortgage on my own. See ya. It's a very weird thing, right? If you talk about being single on stage, a thing I didn't realise would happen is that people think I am soliciting on a grand scale. So I've had people sort of come over after gigs and crack on, which I'm not used to. Not used to it at all. One man laughing an awful lot at that. I'd say too much. That's quite offensive how hearty that laughter was. I don't believe you for a second. No, it's true. Guys crack on. So much so that I've had a fake engagement ring made. Yeah, I do. I wear a fake engagement ring when I gig, because if guys come over and they're sort of cracking on and chatting you up and they see an engagement ring, they try harder. I thoroughly recommend it, guys. My life's changed loads in the last, I'd say maybe like last year. I think everything's changed about me. The way I look has changed. So since Christmas, I've lost about 4 stone, and you're right to be apathetic. It's not America, but I've done it by going to the gym. I've got a personal trainer, which sounds like I'm doing all right in life, but he's £15 an hour, which is about what I'd spend on Deliveroo if left to my own devices. I should definitely want to have sex with my personal trainer. I should definitely want to have sex with him, right? He is incredibly symmetrical, incredibly tanned. He's a professional bodybuilder. He's 28 years old, but his name is Colin, which is a real boner killer, isn't it? No one wants to have sex with a Colin, do they? No one wants to admit that to their friends. He doesn't look like a Colin. He looks like a racist. He's a nice guy. I do get on well with him. Very weird side effect. If you lose a lot of weight, people don't really know how to treat you or how to acknowledge it. So my friends are all feminists because I'm educated. And, oh, she's cheeky. She is cheeky. And they don't know what to do because they want to tell me that they think I look better for losing weight, but they know they're not allowed to do that. That is one of the rules of being a feminist. You cannot congratulate people for losing weight or enjoy Robin Thicke. Those are the two rules of being a feminist, right? So it's great because the more feminist my friend is, the more creatively they had the compliment of my weight loss. So I saw my friend Jess the other day and she went, "Oh my God, babe, you look amazing. You look like you've lost loads of societal pressure. Well done, sister. Well done." My parents have been together 45 years and they're adorable. They're still very much in love, absolutely best friends. But the weird thing about my parents is that they have only actually been married for 4 years. And it was such a lovely day. We're all growing up, the kids, and my brother gave my mum away. It was beautiful. And I sat down with my mum on the wedding day and I said, "Why, after all this time, have you decided to get married?" And she looked at my dad. She had the most incredible look in her eyes. And she just said, "We sat down and we had a little chat and we decided that it made sense for tax purposes." OK, so our first act has been seen on Russell Howard's Stand Up Central. Your first act this evening. Oh, well, why have I said first act twice, right? I never read ahead. Can't help it. I've got attention deficit disorder, if it's not really obvious. And I was diagnosed really late in life. I was diagnosed when I was in university. I was 23, and the only real cure for it was a free laptop. So... that's a joke for everyone educated under a Labour government there. That's a joke. OK, so as seen on Russell Howard's Stand Up Central, your first act this evening is bringing his debut show to the Edinburgh Fringe. Give a big Edinburgh welcome to Darren Harriott!
Thank you, Kiri. This is nice, isn't it? Radio 4. What the hell am I doing here, man? My name is Darren Harriott. I'm what you call a millennial. Yeah. No cheers for that. Very much a typical millennial, always on my phone. My favourite website is Google. Yeah. It's not really a website, is it? It's a search engine. It's like saying, what's your favourite sexual position? Bedroom. I'll tell you what I love about Google, right? You can tap anything you want into the search bars and you never get in trouble. Like anything. I was bored one day and I tapped into Google how to dispose of a dead body. The weird part was, by the time I tapped in dispose, Google finished the rest of the sentence off for me. I'm like, hold on, that's a bit weird, right? Somebody else has already asked this as a question. Literally hundreds and hundreds of comments from people saying things like, "Don't worry, close the laptop, pray, the Lord will forgive you," right? Except for one psychopath who wrote a full, detailed description of exactly how to dispose of a dead body to the point where it was chilling. He's like, "Yeah, you gotta chop the body into pieces, shave the hair off, take the teeth out, put the body parts into bin liners, spray the bin liner with deodorant so the cats don't rip the bag." Really chilling, then at the end he just had the nerve to put, "Hope this helps." It's great. London's weird, man. It's been weird. It's been scary. We had a lot of terrorist attacks. We had like 3 terrorist attacks in about 2 months in London, and it changed things. Made it very weird. Because for about 2 days after the last terrorist attack, Londoners were like, friendly. A stranger came up to me and said, "Have a nice day," and I grabbed him and went, "You're letting the terrorists win!" It was weird. I love doing comedy, you can say what you want. I kind of feel like we might be getting a little bit too PC, man. Don't you think? Yeah. We are. Every year we lose a Halloween costume. It's sad, man. I'll tell you why I think we might be getting too PC, right? We now have racial emojis. Remember when all emojis were yellow? I'll tell you why I don't like these new racial emojis, because I had no idea what shade of black I was. Until these new emojis came out, but apparently I am second to last black. In the summer, I'm the guy on the end, but... I really love the country right now. Really happy. Brexit. It's fun, wasn't it? Eh? I voted Remain. I did. But I am on board with Brexit. I want Brexit to happen. Because I believe in the country, man. I do. Anything you put in front of the UK, we can overcome. Except snow. But other than snow, we're really going to lose these negotiations as well, innit? But yeah, they know all our tricks. We've got nothing to hide. Theresa May is going to walk out of those negotiations barefoot. Like, look, we owe 100 billion and they took my shoes. I didn't even know who to vote for in the whole Brexit thing, so I was doing my own little bit of, like, research. I was just going up to English people, just asking, you voting in or out? What I noticed was everybody who wanted us out, when I asked them why, I felt like they weren't being as honest as they wanted to be. Because of my face. Genuinely true, I was going up to people going, you voting in or out, mate? Out. Why? Because I'm sick of all these, it would really help the farmers. I don't mind people who voted out. Like I said, I'm a Brexiter now. My whole family voted out, man. My nan is against immigration. I know, you guys don't know me, but you already know, that don't make no sense. She has that arrogance as well, right? Because 55 years ago when she came, the country was asking for Caribbean workers to come over. And my nan, she just brings it up at all opportunities. So like, Darren, look, when I came to this country 55 years ago, legally, she always leans in when she says legally. I'm not wearing a wire, right? Just enjoy your 80th birthday now. We might be getting too PC, man. I'm a big supporter of the LGBT community, but I got told off because it's not just that anymore, is it? It's a bit longer. It's LGBTQIAPK. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersex, asexual, pansexual, kinky. I know. The gays have took all the colours of the rainbow, now they're taking the letters as well. There's over 50 different genders now. 50! That's really gonna ruin the game, guess who? Is it a man? No? Okay. Is it someone who was born a man and now lives as a woman? No? Okay. Is it someone who was born a man but no longer lives as a man or a woman, refers to themselves as gender fluid and doesn't answer the pronouns he or she? Also wearing a hat. Guys, I've been Darren Harriott. Cheers.
That was Darren Harriott. His show Define is at 9:30 at the Pleasant Courtyard. Oh, we've got another great act for you. She's absolutely amazing. Her name is Rose Matafeo. She hails from New Zealand and recently been seen on Have I Got News For You. So please give a big warm welcome as you welcome to stage Rose Matafeo!
Hello, how are you doing? My name is Rose, lovely to meet you all, thank you. I like to start with a fun fact about myself to introduce myself to you. So I'll do that. I have a cat. Thank you for clapping. Thank you so much. No, there's actually a story behind this. My cat's name is Bert Back-a-Cat. So some people get that joke there. I'll explain it to you, those who don't. That's actually quite a funny pun on the 60s composer Burt Bacharach. And instead of the ack, I've replaced that with cat. And there's actually a really funny story behind this, and that is that I'm incredibly lonely. So this guy knows what I'm talking about here. High five. There we go. Give me some skin. Woo! Great. It's good to touch someone. For those listening at home, I just licked my hand, put it in my pocket, and you're giving me a look like, why have you done this to me? But it's very exciting because I got to go home for Christmas and I'm going to do some jokes, Christmas cracker jokes. And that is because, topical, yes, thank you very much. This year I got put in charge of a very fun family tradition we have. We make our own homemade Christmas crackers. So, you know the little jokes you get in Christmas crackers? I decided to mix it up a little bit and I decided to replace all of the punchlines to those jokes with things that I have been meaning to get off my chest to my family. for an entire year now. Some of these are real classics. So if you do want to yell out the answers, please do. I love that sort of audience interaction. So this first one is, what is Santa's favourite colour? Anyone? Anyone? Red. Okay, that's a good guess. Wrong. What I've written, actually written for this, very close though, what I've written for this one is, we all know you lost your job, Daniel. There's a bit of a tense one there. This is a bit more fun. Knock, knock. Who's there? Michael. Michael who? Sorry, Brian. Sorry. I messed it up. Brian. Sorry, again, Tony. I'm so sorry. Tony is what I mean. Tony. Sorry, this is just me trying to figure out what my aunt's boyfriend's name is. Just until he kind of responds there. This one doesn't have anything to do with Christmas, but it's still fun. Why did the spider go to the ball? You don't know why? Oh, it doesn't really make sense, does it? It's sort of like how Gail is here, even though she's not a blood relative, and it's a family-only Christmas. And 2 years ago, I wasn't allowed to invite my boyfriend because we're not married yet, and she still hasn't paid me back the $2,000 I invested in her business. That one just says improvise. Gail's a bitch. Thank you for that applause for that. Yeah. So, okay, next one. This one just says Rose does an impression of a mobile phone vibrating on a table. That's the text. That's cool. Okay, there's a bit of a political one here. You might know the answer to this one. Please do yell it out. What is the difference between a snowman and a snow woman? Someone knows it. Yes. Okay. Very close. What I've actually got written down here is that actually snowmen get paid substantially more than snow women in most industries. So. It's a bit political there, to ruffle some feathers there. I ran out of ideas by the end and I just started writing things about myself. This is just a list of Rose's top 5 greatest fears. Rose's top 5 greatest fears. Okay, let's go. Number 1, death. Number 2, breaking the rules. Number 3, water slides. Number 4, breaking the rules on water slides. And number 5, dying as a result of breaking the rules on a water slide. Now, breaking the rules is number 2 there. I want to tell you this. I've never broken the rules in my entire life. I'm terrified of doing that. The only time I've ever broken the rules my entire life is when I once watched a DVD on an oil rig. Woo! Anyone, do you remember DVDs? Does anyone remember? Anyone remember DVDs? No? Yeah, it really requires it. Okay, it was like Netflix but harder. Remember that? That was crazy. Do you remember the warning you'd get at the start of a DVD? This is what it's in reference to. The FBI warning. FBI warning at the start of a DVD, which would be like, warning! Warning! You cannot watch this DVD in schools, in prisons, on an oil rig. Number 3 on the list. Number 4 on the list was nightclubs. Who the hell is watching a DVD in a nightclub? You never see a drunk girl in a nightclub go up to the DJ and be like, hey, can you play the King's Speech? Hey, it's my friend's birthday. Anyway, thank you very much. Goodbye.
You can see her show, Sassy Best Friend, 21:45 at the Pleasance Courtyard. Ladies and gentlemen, we've not just got stand-up for you. We've got some character comedy making ooh. That was patronising, but I'll take it. Now, we have an actor who's brought a very special workshop to the Edinburgh Fringe, here with a small taster of his acting masterclass. Please welcome Caden Hunter!
Hello, my name is Caden Hunter, and yes, primarily, I'm an actor. But what you failed to mention is I'm also a writer, a director, a producer. I draw, I paint, do a bit of sculpture, part-time photography. Yeah, I make my own bread, I'm a motivator of minds, you get me? All right? I consciously and unconsciously inspire people. All right? Well, I'm an activist. Yeah. I'm a feminist as well. Actually, was anyone else at the Women's March, or...? No? Just me? Oh, okay. I don't know, that's cool. You lead your own lives, so... I'm a friend, all right? I'm a son. I'm a lover. But above all else, I'm just a man. So what am I doing at the Edinburgh Fringe? Well, yes, I'm doing my acting workshop. I don't really like that term because, you know, for me, it's not work. Or a shop. Actually, we got any actors in the room? Pop your hand up if you're an actor. One guy. Okay. Interesting. Everyone stick one hand up in the air. That's how many actors we got in the room. Hey, so we're switching on now. Yeah, we're all actors, guys. Look, I found the actor inside me. All I ask is that you let me come inside you and do the same, all right? Okay, now, normally at this point, I like to do a brief but extremely powerful performance. But as this is being recorded for the radio, I figured it would be more befitting for me to read you one of my poems. All I will say is that I wrote this with my heart, so I'd really appreciate it if you listen to it with yours. This poem is called These Hands. I am a gentle soul with heart. It's also set in Scotland. I am a gentle soul with hard hands. These hands. The same hands that lead a strong and warm embrace. The same hands that find you in the darkness. The same hands that built my cabin in Loch Lomond. The same hands that have saved my life. And the hands that have taken life. It was with these hands that I took the life of a 240-kilo red stag. And although it broke my heart, it seemed the most humane thing to do after hitting it with my car. You are at peace now, I whispered to it as I snapped its neck. The beast let out its final call to the wild as if to say, farewell and thank you. The cry went on and on, echoing through the highlands. So I snapped its neck once more. And to be sure, I dropped a big rock on its face. With great reverence and ceremony, I dragged its carcass into the hard shoulder. With bloodied hands and sodden cheeks, I got back into my car and drove on into the night, contemplating not only the cost of life, but the cost of the damage to my car. Why? Why? Thank you. Okay, all right. It's not Butlins. It's a sacred space, okay? Look, I better wrap things up, okay? But before I do go, I'll leave you with this. You've come to the Edinburgh Fringe. Well done. No, seriously, well done. Good on you. And go and see more shows, okay? I encourage you. See all the shows in the world, as many as you can. But soon enough, you're gonna realize that there's only one show. That show's called Life. And it's free. But the real question is, are you? God bless you. Thank you so much.
Cayden Hunter, everybody. So profound. So profound. Caden Hunter is also known as character comedian Jon Pointing, and his show Act Natural is on at the Pleasance Courtyard at 7:15 p.m, so do check him out. So, our final act comes from America and is now based in the UK. She's appearing in one of the Fringe's most unique venues, a double-decker bus. So please welcome Desiree Burch!
Hello, thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, my name is Desiree. I am American, and I am sorry. You know, it's important to do that these days. I live in London, and I just get updates from the Washington Post all the time, and I'm walking around town like, I am so sorry. This does not represent all of us. I am so sorry. Which oddly makes me fit in with the British so much better. Just start with an apology for nothing. You guys are like, get in, you're home. You know, it's great. And you guys are very, very nice to us in a way you don't even have to be like, you know, we wouldn't be that nice to you. You guys are really nice. Like every time I'm talking to a new British person, right, you guys all do the same thing, right? So I'll be like 3 sentences into the conversation and you all go, do I detect an accent? Yeah, Sherlock, what the hell tipped you off? So the fact that I'm 10 decibels louder than everybody else around, because I don't know how to have an indoor voice, is that it? And then you all do this very nice thing. You go, so, are you Canadian? No, I'm fat, loud, and opinionated. We all know where I'm from. But I appreciate that. That is a compliment. You're trying to say, you don't seem like an asshole. Are you Canadian? And I appreciate that, right? That's a kind thing to do. Just like if you're talking to someone who sounds like they're from Australia, definitely ask if they're from New Zealand first, right? You're gonna get pissed off if you do it the other way around. Just like when I'm talking to a new British person, I ask if they're sober first. It's never happened, but it is nice to dream. And so I've been living here for a couple of years, so like I've noticed things about you guys, and I'm a comic, and we tell you that kind of stuff, so I'm gonna tell you. So one of the things I noticed is you guys don't know how to get off the phone right. Is that a thing you know about yourselves, that you just like abort call at the end? You just like, just end it. Like, okay, because every conversation I've ever had with a British person on the phone goes, bye, 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 bye. Like, you guys are so excited to not be talking to a person ever again. Just ending it. You're just like so joyful. Like, how do you guys break up from relationships? Do you just go like, bye? Just like skip away for the first time in your lives. It's amazing, right? Also, a thing that kind of screwed me up when I first came over was the electricity, because you guys have like double the current that we have in the States, right? And normally things are fine. Like my laptop was fine with an adapter, my phone was fine with an adapter. What wasn't fine was my Hitachi magic wand. Okay, some of you guys know what that is. For those of you guys who don't, it's a device that kind of looks like this microphone and does this. And when we have one, we don't need people anymore. So I had one of these, and I brought it over, and, you know, I'm in a relationship, so I need that thing. So, you know, I went to, like, plug it in with the adapter, and an arc of electricity shot out of it, right? As though I had said, Expecto Patronum! Away ran the Patronus of my orgasm in the form of a mythical unicorn never to be seen again in the forest, just away. I'm 38 years old. You know, like dating in your 30s, like it's not that bad. Like people complain about it. It's fine. The only problem with it as a woman is that, like, you know, you still look good when you're in your 30s. You can still go out to the club, whatever. What happens though is that you're gonna wind up going home with a guy who is way too young to be considered sexually viable to you anymore. All right, this happened to me a few years back. I was here and I'm at some bar, right? And you know, as British people, like if you're talking to an American, all you have to do is say words. Right? And we're just like, oh my God, that was amazing. What did you just say? Say privacy again. Say it again. Schedule. Like, all we have to do is say words, and we just lose it. So this guy was saying words to me. I was feeling it, right? So I go home with this guy. Everything is going really lovely. And he goes, so, how old are you? And I was like, that is not how this game works, okay? What's gonna happen is you say your number first, and then I will make up a number that doesn't sound insane to you, and then we'll go back to it, right? And then he just goes, I'm 24, I'm a man, my brain isn't even done forming yet. I'm 24, just proud of himself. And I was like, this guy rolls over to his trousers and pulls out his wallet and shows me his ID. Like he's getting carded to get into my vagina. He shows me his ID. Of course it doesn't say I'm 24. No, what it says is that he was born in 1990. They kept making people in 1990? Dude, I was already 11 years old in 1990, okay? I had boobs in 1990. I had a period in 1990. I had a Wilson Phillips album on cassette in 1990, okay? I had a whole little starter personality, and this kid was just flying out of his mom's womb, you know? Like, I'm gonna grow up and have sex with one of my mom's work friends one day, yay! You guys have been so lovely. My name's Desiree Burch. Have a good night.
Desiree Burch's show is on at Bob's Blunderbuss at 10 p.m. I've been Kiri Pritchard-McLean, and I'm appearing at 8:15 with my show Appropriate Adult at the Pleasance Courtyard. Thank you and good night! Fresh from the Fringe star Darren Harriott, Rose Matafeo, Jon Pointing as Caden Hunter, and Desiree Burch. It was hosted by me, Kiri Pritchard-McLean, and the producer was Adnan Ahmed. It was a BBC Studios production.
That was Fresh from the Fringe. A lot of those brilliant comics have shows coming up of their Edinburgh hours, so if you liked any of them, do web search their names on the World Wide Webbing and find out where they're playing and what they're doing for more freshness. Fresh. We'll be back next week with a new series of The John Maloney Show, which is very exciting. Until then, I hope your happy September hangovers have recovered. I hope the memories of the party are slowly fading away, making you feel calmer, making you feel that maybe a squirrel and a human that identifies as a lady could make it work. Maybe. You've been listening to Comedy of the Week. I've been Carrie Lloyd. Remember, whatever you are, squirrel, human, drunk badger trying to flirt with a weasel, we're all just lumps of meat with differing amounts of hair trying to do our best.